It was a chilly autumn morning when John decided to take his usual walk along the forest trail near his home. The leaves crunched under his boots and the crisp air carried the scent of pine and damp earth. John loved these peaceful moments away from the hustle and bustle of the city, where he could clear his mind and enjoy the tranquility of nature. As he made his way deeper into the forest, he heard a faint, whimpering sound. He stopped in his tracks, straining his ears to catch the source of the noise. It came again, this time louder, more desperate. John's heart quickened as he followed the sound, curiosity and concern urging him forward. He pushed through the thick underbrush, and soon came upon a small, quivering bundle nestled in the fallen leaves. It was a tiny creature, barely visible beneath the dirt and twigs. John knelt down, gently brushing away the debris, and his eyes widened. It was a puppy, or so he thought. The little animal was shivering, its fur matted and covered in grime. Without a second thought, John scooped up the tiny creature, wrapping it in his jacket to keep it warm. "Don't worry, little one," he whispered softly. "I've got you. Let's get you to a vet." John hurried back to his car, holding the puppy close to his chest. The small creature nestled into his warmth, its whimpers gradually subsiding as it drifted off to sleep. John felt a surge of compassion and determination. He would nurse this abandoned puppy back to health and find it a good home. As soon as he arrived at the veterinary clinic, John rushed inside, cradling the tiny animal like a precious jewel. The receptionist's eyes widened at the sight, but she quickly called for Dr. Martin, the clinic's experienced vet. Dr. Martin, a man in his mid-50s, with a kind but stern demeanour, approached with a reassuring smile. "What have we got here?" he asked, gesturing for John to place the puppy on the examination table. John gently set the little creature down, explaining how he had found it alone in the forest. "It must have been abandoned," John said, his voice tinged with sadness. "Can you help it, Doctor?" Dr. Martin nodded, his eyes focused on the small animal. But as he began his examination, his smile faded, replaced by a look of growing concern. He picked up the creature carefully, examining its paws, its fur, and its face. John noticed the change in the vet's expression. "Is everything okay?" he asked, anxiety creeping into his voice. Dr. Martin hesitated, then took a deep breath. "John," he began cautiously, "this isn't a puppy." John blinked, confused. "What do you mean? Of course it's a puppy." Dr. Martin shook his head slowly. "It looks like a puppy, yes, but this is actually a baby fox." John's heart skipped a beat. "A fox? But it was so helpless. I thought—" The vet placed a comforting hand on John's shoulder. "You did the right thing bringing it here. It's not uncommon for people to mistake fox kits for puppies. They look very similar at this age, and without their mother they seem just as vulnerable." John felt a wave of relief mixed with disbelief. He had saved a baby fox. "So what happens now?" Dr. Martin smiled gently. "We'll take care of it. Foxes are wild animals, but since this little one has been separated from its mother, it will need special care. We'll make sure it's healthy and find a wildlife rescue that can help rehabilitate it." John nodded, his initial surprise giving way to a sense of responsibility. "Can I visit it? Maybe help in any way?" Dr. Martin nodded approvingly. "Absolutely. Your care brought it this far. With a little more time and the right environment, it will have a good chance of returning to the wild." Over the next few weeks, John visited the clinic regularly. He watched as the baby fox grew stronger, its fur becoming sleek and shiny, its eyes bright and curious. The connection he felt with the little creature deepened, and though he knew it would one day return to the wild, he cherished the moments they shared. When the day finally came for the fox to be transferred to the wildlife rescue, John felt a mix of pride and sadness. He had saved a life, even if it wasn't the puppy he thought he had rescued. And in that act of kindness, he had forged a bond with nature that would stay with him forever. As he stood watching the rescue team gently place the now healthy fox into their care, John knew that sometimes the greatest surprises come from the smallest acts of compassion. He had set out to save a puppy, but instead he had saved a little piece of the wild, a reminder that every life, no matter how small, deserves a chance.